Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood.
Present.
Barbara Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick.
Here.
Dana Isabella.
Here.
James Coffey.
Here.
And I, Katie Colucci, am present.
Is everyone seeking public comment this evening? Seeing none, we'll move forward to supervisor's report. A couple things, just a reminder that I will be out of town for a couple of days next week as one of the vice presidents for the Association of Towns. We have our annual retreat, and just to acknowledge that that is covered by the association. I also want to note that we have canvassed all of the business owners and property owners out at the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base for an event giving an infrastructure update as it relates to the sinkholes and other things and advocacy. I want to thank Senator Schumer, Senator Gillibrand, and Congresswoman Stefanik's office for the dialogue. It is ongoing, having lots and lots of conversation as it's a legacy issue that we're dealing with. And just to give you a very abbreviated update, Luck Brothers have been doing a phenomenal job addressing really one of the biggest issues, and that was the intersection of Idaho and Connecticut. They have had to dig down. I think it's been close to 20 or 22 feet, and you know what was basically a 15 by 15 just became super expansive. It's so sandy that when you dig, you have to keep trenching back and trenching back and trenching back. The pipes themselves that needed replacing because of the failing Cold War or infrastructure were 72 inches or about 6 feet in diameter. I mean, like, we're talking about some large pieces. You know, so that is ongoing. I've also had a conversation with upper members of the executive team of NYSEG because there is some utility issues out there. We are trying to make some additional headway with the rail, etc. So there's multiple factors. A lot of this is taking up a lot of time and energy, but it's necessary. Speaking in a positive way as it relates to the former Plattsburgh Air Force Base, we held an event last night on National Purple Heart Day. As you may remember, a number of years ago, the town became the first Purple Heart town in the North Country, and at the Battlefield Memorial Gateway, we held an event there on the Purple Heart Trail, which is connected to the Empire State Trail and the Terry Border Bike Path. We had about 120, maybe a little bit more individuals that showed up. We were able to acknowledge a number of our local hometown heroes, and we actually had some recipients of the Purple Heart from Vermont come over because we were holding an event. You know, the event had a lot of really, I think, poignant moments. I know Dana was there, but some of the highlights included a review of the Prisoner of War or Missing in Action table. If you've never seen that or understood that, there is a table that is set for one, and it's very moving. Some restaurants actually have them, and some legions. I would just encourage you to check that out. So there was a demonstration there. Many people had never seen or heard that before, so it was very powerful. We also had a lap of reflection and remembrance around the path that was lit by over 500 luminary bags. Next year, as part of the tradition, people will be able to participate with that by placing one of their family or friends or veterans' name on it. And then if they're a Purple Heart, the emblem will be assigned on the bag as well. And that'll be a part to help fundraise for the BMG, but also in recognition and reverence. So we wanted to roll that out. And then, you know, one of the things that I just shared, I think it was just a really, really powerful statement. One of the veterans said to a group of individuals, you know, all of this for us, and the answer is yes. We are doing exactly what it's meant to do, and one of the powerful things too was last night was truly a multi-generational event. We had veterans of all eras, and we had a ton of youth there, a ton of youth, from 4-H programs, from some classes and stuff like that. And I truly believe once that space is fully open, you're going to see this like really amazing kind of cross-section and just kind of cross-pollination. So, but it will become an annual event, so just want to give you a heads up on that. Other than that, last two things, actually I'll say it if it's not said in committee, I don't want to steal anyone's thunder. So we'll go through draft resolutions, minutes, permanent appointment of Rick Rasco for building and maintenance supervisor. Someone had asked, is Mike Drew still with us? Yes, Mike Drew is still the building ground superintendent. For lack of better terms, this is almost like a deputy type thing, different role, civil service. Disposal of obsolete equipment, services agreement between JC Memorials and the town of Plattsburgh. Katie, did you want to talk about that at all? Is there anything here that needs to be?
Not really, I mean, it's just kind of, you have somebody who does engraving at the mausoleum, and this gentleman is fairly local. People that have done it before hadn't found an agreement on file with them because it was more of a, oh, Albert uses them, so we use them. But we had to pay them. So it would be good to have an agreement on file for this new outfit.
No, that's good.
So, the last thing that I just want to touch on, because it's not something that occurs every day, is the town board has received on file a planned development district, or which is often referred to as a PDD materials. It is at the location of basically, for really simplifying it, where Harrigan's Ice Cream or Creamery is. So next week what will happen is that we will actually adopt a resolution placing it on file, and then it will begin a series of actions for consideration and review and stuff like that. But I would encourage folks.
It goes way back, though, doesn't it? I mean, it's not just right.
No, exactly. There's
quite a few areas, 60 acres or something.
Thereabouts.
And that's all. There's a lot of trees through there, I think. I'm not going to comment on the project yet, Tom, only to say that next week what we'll do is accept it on file. But I would encourage you to touch base with the Planning and Community Development Department to learn a little bit more about that application. The PDD is an action where the town board would need to take by consideration. We will need to do a public hearing and so on and so forth. So there is a process, and it's not something that will be done immediately. And just like everything else that we do, we'll make sure that the 500-foot letters go out and all that type of stuff. But I want the board to understand what the proposal is and so that. But the first action, just so people are clear, we are only accepting and placing it on file next week. That's all that will be. Okay. Is there anyone seeking to provide any committee reports?
Yeah, Dana and I would like to announce that we have someone who's interested in serving as an alternate on the planning board. There are currently 3 vacancies on there, and this individual who's expressed interest, we'll get you some more information, hoping that can come to some resolution next week. So copy the application, and I received, and forwarded to Dana, declared interest from this particular individual, so
Great.
we're there, getting closer.
Barbara's doing a great job with that. She really is.
Just gotta keep moving it along.
Okay. Any other committee reports?
I would add that Barbara and I met this afternoon with Morrisonville EMS, one of the ambulance providers that we contract with on a yearly basis. Just to touch base to see how everything's going. I think we should really note that their call volume's up fairly significantly over last year. They've been very, very active. What I really liked hearing from them was some of the steps that they're taking as far as recruitment.
Mhm.
They really have picked up the level of their junior program, where they can bring in basically explorer type younger folks to get them potentially interested in. So while volunteer numbers tend to wane, they are taking steps to make sure that they keep some of the volunteer folks coming in, which I thought was really good. So I think they continue to do a real good job for us. And we will set up the meeting with our other provider over the next few weeks with CBPH EMS. But I think we're very fortunate to have two very high quality ambulance service providers within the town. We're in much better shape than most of the towns in our area and most of the towns in the state. Very fortunate.
And I think establishing mid-year meetings like this will put us in a better position to anticipate questions or concerns and transparency.
Any other? I got to jump on a committee then. Parks and Rec, I just want to let you all know, they are probably about 80% done with the new playground equipment. So to the community members, please stay off of it, we're close.
Town councilors, stay off of it.
Yeah, Tom, stay off of
Say
it.
me too, Tom.
I know you
Well,
love
let me know when it opens.
a good swing.
We'll invite you to the grand opening.
They've got a couple of things that they're doing, but it's the one over in West Plattsburgh. I went to see it this afternoon. It looks really, really nice. It's just gonna be a nice new feature out there. But they gotta put a couple of more fixtures in and so on and so forth. So probably within about 2 weeks is when we're hoping to be able to open that up. So, anything else for the good of the order before we consider an executive session? I know of the need to go into an executive session as it relates to the work history of 3 specific individuals, but it was also asked that there may be something else to add to that. Barb, do you have something?
That we go into executive session to discuss proposed potential litigation for the following: Orion, Plattsburgh RV Park, and Kennedy Trust. No action to be taken.
Neither on the work history. Motion by Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
I'll say, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Thomas Wood,
Oh, yes.
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Dana Isabella.
Yeah.
Michael Catton.
Yes, we will enter executive session at 6:12 PM and no formal action to follow.